Hello everyone, welcome back to Stock Market Meridian. Today is 31st July 2026 and you're watching today's pre-market report. Let's begin with global markets. Starting with the US markets, all the major indices closed in a strong positive zone. The biggest highlight was the Nasdaq, which surged 3.3%, recovering sharply after several sessions of heavy selling pressure. Coming to the European markets, only the FTSE 100 closed with slight losses, while all the other major indices ended the session in positive territory. Now looking at the Asian markets, Japan, China and South Korea are currently trading in a neutral to positive zone. So overall, global market sentiment remains mixed but with a positive bias. Now let's move to the commodities segment. US WTI crude oil is currently trading around $83 to $85 per barrel, while Brent crude oil is trading near $91 to $93 per barrel. Yesterday, Indian crude oil futures ended nearly 1% lower, while natural gas futures closed with gains of around 0.7%. In the precious metal segment, Indian gold futures closed 1% higher, while international gold prices are trading in a neutral zone. Meanwhile, Indian silver futures gained around 1.14%, whereas international silver is trading slightly below the previous day's level. Now, let's move to the ADR data. Yesterday, on the positive side, ICICI Bank, Reliance Industries, Dr. Reddy's Laboratories and HDFC Bank ADRs closed with strong gains. On the negative side, Infosys and Wipro ADRs ended in the red, with Infosys ADR crashing nearly 5.1%. This clearly indicates that while the US AI and semiconductor sectors continue their bullish momentum, Indian IT stocks are currently under pressure. Now, let's look at the FII and DII data. Yesterday, FIIs remained strong buyers for the third consecutive trading session, with a net buying of Rs 3,623 crores. On the other hand, DIIs turned net sellers with Rs 1,864 crores. This DII selling can largely be seen as profit booking, while FIIs are once again providing support to the markets. So overall, institutional activity remained positive. Now, let's check the economic calendar. Yesterday, Germany's GDP and CPI inflation data came in positive. The Bank of England kept interest rates unchanged, as expected. In the US, core PCE inflation and GDP data came in slightly weaker than expectations, while initial jobless claims data remained positive. Today, the market will closely watch China PMI data, Bank of Japan interest rate decision, Eurozone CPI inflation, India's foreign exchange reserves data, and tomorrow there are no major economic events scheduled. Before moving ahead, a quick reminder: I upload pre-market reports every morning before the market opens and post-market reports every evening after the market closes. So if you don't want to miss important market updates, make sure you like, subscribe, and stay connected with Stock Market Meridian. Now, let's move to the major geopolitical developments. Several important diplomatic and security updates emerged overnight. US President Donald Trump announced what he called a historic Gaza peace agreement, while military operations and diplomatic negotiations continue around the Strait of Hormuz. According to the announcement, there is a phased plan for the complete disarmament of Hamas and other armed groups in Gaza, after which Israeli forces are expected to withdraw gradually. A new Palestinian administration, supported by an international stabilization force and a new Palestinian police force, is expected to take over security responsibilities. Meanwhile, the US military confirmed that CENTCOM has redirected 22 commercial vessels, disabled 2 vessels, and boarded 2 vessels in the region. At the same time, diplomatic talks regarding navigation in the Strait of Hormuz are continuing in Muscat, Oman. According to reports, any successful agreement could eventually help ease the naval blockade and reduce oil-related sanctions. However, tensions remain high as Iran has not shown willingness to resume discussions after recent US military action and continues issuing threats against US allies in the region. Overall, investors should continue monitoring these developments closely as they could have a direct impact on global crude oil prices and market sentiment. Now, let's cover the companies that announced their quarterly results after yesterday's market close. First, Tata Steel. Revenue, EBITDA, net profit and EBITDA margin improved strongly on a year-on-year basis but declined quarter-on-quarter. Net profit margin also weakened on both yearly and quarterly comparisons. The sequential decline was largely expected, but the margin weakness remains a negative factor. Overall, the results were slightly mixed. Next, Torrent Pharma. Revenue and net profit showed strong growth on both YOY and QOQ basis. EBITDA improved on a yearly basis, although quarterly EBITDA data wasn't available. The only concern was a decline in net profit margin on a yearly basis. Overall, the results were slightly weaker than market expectations. Next, Mazagon Dock Shipbuilders. All major earnings parameters improved strongly on a year-on-year basis, while quarter-on-quarter numbers declined because of seasonal factors. Margins improved on both yearly and quarterly basis. Overall, the results were good. Next, Global Health. Revenue and EBITDA improved, but net profit declined on a yearly basis. Margins also weakened on both yearly and quarterly basis. Overall, the results were disappointing. Next, Nuvama Wealth Management. Revenue, EBITDA and net profit all improved. However, margins remained under pressure, indicating some slowdown in operating momentum. Overall, the results were positive, but margins remain a concern. Next, LIC Housing Finance. Only net profit improved on both yearly and quarterly basis. Margins improved on a quarterly basis, while most other parameters declined. Overall, the results indicate weak business momentum. Next, RailTel Corporation. Revenue improved only on a yearly basis. Apart from that, all major earnings parameters, including margins, declined sharply. Overall, the quarterly results were disappointing. Next, Apollo Pipes. The company reported a very weak quarter. Revenue improved on a yearly basis but declined sequentially. The company also reported heavy losses, while margins deteriorated significantly. Overall, the results were very weak. Finally, NSDL, National Securities Depository Limited. As expected by the market, the company delivered strong quarterly results with no major negative factors to highlight. Overall, the results were highly positive. Now let's check GIFT Nifty. Yesterday, GIFT Nifty closed at the 24,396 level, and today it also opened around the same level. This indicates a muted start or a slight gap up opening for the Indian markets today. And that's all for today's pre-market report. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to Stock Market Meridian. I'll see you again this evening with today's post-market report. Thank you for watching. Signing off, Jai Hind.